everybody. Ryker Richard here, talking about a blowout. Big game. Raptors. You could say that they grabbed the bull by the horns and took command of this game. We see the likes of Malachi, Jordan Lloyd, Chris Boucher, Canadian, a couple of randoms for the Raptors, I guess, that have not seen playing time yet this season. They're out there due to a lot of injuries. Of course, Norman Powell, CJ Miles, Kawhi Leonard, he's just resting, OG Anunoby. And unfortunately, the complete downside of this game, Kyle Lowry rolling his ankle soreness, didn't re-enter the game. Hopefully, it's nothing that'll keep him out for too long. I know he was going to rest next game anyways. So we'll see what happens, see what that timetable is. Raptors, best development in the league in terms of bringing up guys, best bench in the league, but starting to look like this team's getting stretched a little bit thin. Of course, this blowout has a little bit contributed, or completely contributed, I might argue, to the Bulls are in the same situation, but unfortunately they don't have that amazing bench to rely on. Valentine, Ulis, Zach LaVine, Bobby Portis, Dunn, Markkanen, all of their best players completely wiped out. So not the most exciting game to watch, but what is exciting? If we're going to dip away from the Raptors orientation for a minute and just look around the league, because I know it's been a little bit depressing as a Raptors fan as of late. We let that heartbreaker loss in Detroit, or against Detroit, let it slip in overtime against Boston Celtics. I can't even bring myself to watch the highlights of that game. Of course, I was away for the last podcast, and then letting the game slip for 3 in a row losses. So they needed this bounce back win, but the one savior of the league, and I don't want to bring down other teams or anything, but of course, as a Raptors oriented fan base, we don't want to let it get too comfortable. We've been trying so hard to earn the respect from the popular media. It's too bad when it slips and you let other teams that aren't doing as well sort of catch up in popularity. But tonight, the Celtics let it slip after beating the Raptors. Who else? The Golden State Warriors lost the game, so we're not losing standings in the overall league. Kemba Walker dropped 60 against the 76ers, but they still, Jimmy Butler. I wasn't completely impressed by the trade only a few games ago, but hit the game winner for the 76ers tonight or last night, depending on when you're listening to this podcast. So around the league, I think things are balancing out. Anytime the Raptors lose one, all the other top echelon teams, the top tier teams, they seem to be losing as well. But to jump back in this game, the main story, really the shining star of this game, is VanVleet, our boy. Steady Freddy. He's finally getting back. He's got back his groove. Last season, among the pinnacle of sixth man, he was the leader of the team, the moral leader, the offensive guy you could count on. That's where the nickname came from. Steady Freddy. Freddie VanVleet. You could count on him at any time in the fourth quarter and whenever he comes out to step up and make shots. But this season, like every career, you go through the ebbs and the flows, and he's been on a low. But they put him out into the starting lineup, and Nick Nurse, congratulations. I think that's the best thing he could have done for that man. He went out immediately, was aggressive, shot 63% by the end of the game, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, steal, block. He was trying it all, and his confidence seemed right back up where it regularly is, which is amazing for Fred VanVleet because he is that number one guy that brings together the second unit. Now, of course, Nick Nurse doesn't love to say that he has a first unit, a second unit. He's trying to be very ambiguous with who's going to be able to play because he wants to try as many lineups as possible. But we all know Fred VanVleet is the reason that the Raptors have that strong bench lineup, and I think we're not going to see him for very long in the starting unit because then we have to rely on some other player to come up with the leadership. So I think when everybody's back and healthy, he's going to come back. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying Fred VanVleet, it's fantastic that he finally has his health back or his confidence back. And same thing with DeLon Wright. Not as impressive numbers tonight, only 7 points. Didn't shoot as well from the field, but it wasn't necessary from him for this game. But we've been having a lot of minutes put onto Kyle Lowry. And this game was a complete mystery as to why, when we were up 30 points, he was out on the court. And of course, there's a very delicate balance between allowing him to play, get his minutes, stay in the flow of the game, stay energized, make his shots, get his confidence up. So, I mean, Kyle Lowry hasn't been scoring at the level that we're used to over the first couple games through the past few games. So, maybe Nick Nurse is trying to allow him to do the same thing, but unfortunately, this is the reason for that extended bench. This is the reason that the term garbage minutes or burner minutes exists, because when you're up 30 points, you have your starting point guard out there, you feel pretty stupid when he gets injured. So, again, I'm not going to criticize here tonight because it's minor. Hopefully he comes back, and we needed VanVleet to go out and do not well. But we just hope that moving forward, star players maybe stay off the court when it's the garbage minutes that are out there. Big thing for tonight. Big thing was the Raptors finally, for the first time this season, in my opinion, they played a start-to-finish game. And I've made the comment, and before it was a concern, I said I'm a little concerned about the margin that the Toronto Raptors are winning their games. Right, they get on leads, and then come fourth quarter, they let it slip. Now, this is before their 3 losses in a row. And I compared them to the Golden State Warriors, and I said the Golden State Warriors seem to be winning games at higher margins. And, of course, they're the number 1 most winning team by the biggest margin. The Raptors were sitting at 4th or 5th in the league at the time that I made the comment. And there was a little bit of backlash in the comment section saying, okay, well, you're overreacting a little bit. Of course, when you throw out the second lineup, a bunch of valid concerns, but then we look at the game, or the couple of games where they let it skid. The Pistons, they shouldn't have let them come back in the game. The Celtics in overtime. The Raptors have had a real challenge with keeping the foot on the gas, and this is a game that even when you had your Jordan Lloyds and your Greg Monroes and your Chris Boucher, Canadian, all those guys out on the court, they played with intensity, they played with confidence, they were stroking the 3. It's really good for the Raptors to play this style of game because they need it moving forward, especially when we're going to have this test when players are going to be in and out of the rotation due to injuries and due to rest nights, to have everybody on that same page thinking we need to be in attack mode, in what is it called when you finish somebody off, kill mode or double tap, whatever it is. They need to be in that mode where they are relentless and they never let up. They did that tonight. Swing into the segment pieces. Don't know how long we'll make this podcast last, but the Kawhi light of the night, the Kawhi play of the day, the Kawhi, you do him like that. And for me, you know what? I really haven't pondered this too much before I started the podcast. I should have had something prepared, but I'm going to say, for me, it was Kawhi, you do him like that. Fred VanVleet. You choose this game to really explode back onto the scenes. You take a crippled and really scarce and really down on their luck Bulls team, and this is the night that you choose to explode. Same thing with Danny Green shooting almost perfect from the field. Perfect from the field, actually, 7 for 7. They're really just putting that nail in the coffin. And there was one perfect play. It was a push pass on the fast break to Danny Green, and then he does a little side shovel pass over to VanVleet in the corner. Strokes the 3, and that was sort of the tone of the entire game. It was fast offense, making the shots. So, why you do them like that to the Bulls? You know that they have no chance for this game. But not all plays can be the Kawhi you do them like that. The Kawhi light. Some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight's oh, geez play of the night comes, well, we're going to have to say, we've already talked about it in the podcast. Kyle Lowry. Out there in minutes that he had really no matter to be out on the floor. Rolls his ankle. Didn't seem like there was any contact. Didn't seem extremely serious watching it in the replay. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with him long term that's going to really harm or affect his season. But he is likely going to miss the next game. Probably a couple games just to be safe. Ankle soreness is what they classified it as after he went back to be evaluated. So hopefully he can recover and he's back out playing for the Raptors, being that all-star point guard that he always is, as soon as possible. And the one, the only, the infamous DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award for worst performance of the game. I'm coming through the Raptors, and it's impossible to give it to anybody because tonight I'm not going to have an absence of the DeMar Carroll. That would be absurd. That would be ludicrous. But tonight, the most positive thing that we could maybe say about the Raptors in a blowout win is that every player that stepped foot on the court got at least one basket. Fantastic. Chris Boucher, only 6 minutes, made his one bucket, and then everybody else other than that, 7 points are up. Malachi hitting threes left, right, and center. Jordan Lloyd hitting threes. Greg Monroe getting a little bit involved in the action. Everybody was playing hot potato with the basketball tonight because nobody was selfish. Everybody wanted to make sure that the whole team was being involved. So the Gold Star Award has to be for, I hate to put it on the fourth string guys in the Chicago Bulls, but again, the Gold Star Award for not even shutting down a single player. I think one person can maybe play defense, and Jack was making the joke, hey, coach, put me out there. We'll set a double screen, and I can go out there and hit a Jimmy. And I feel like he was right. I feel like if they had Jack Armstrong lace up in the final 2 minutes of the game, he probably could have had an open jump shot based off of how the whole thing sort of turned out. So hilarious and amazing for the Raptors. Amazing for Jack Armstrong to recognize that he has the... I'm just joking. But I actually do think he could have made a jump shot. But this is a good game. This is a really fantastic end-to-end game. I don't know if it's the most exciting, how many people tuned in to watch this, Raptors fans, but it's something we've been down in our luck in trying to support these guys. We know it was going to turn around. We know that the Raptors weren't going to stay on this losing streak. So it's good to go out and not just beat or, not just sort of defeat the Chicago Bulls, but to go out there and absolutely obliterate them, go out there and smush them like they're a little tiny mosquito and we're a giant, like a giant Pascal Siakam or Jonas Valanciunas. Really great, really fantastic game tonight. I'm not sure who we're looking forward to next for the Raptors to play against. Maybe I can find it in one quick second. Seems like they got a day or two off. Magic. That might be the next game against the Magic. So if you've stayed in with this far, listening, thank you. You're the best. Comment whatever you feel like talking about. We're going to have some new creative content. I leave soon. Very soon. Next Thursday or Friday to go to Europe. So I'll have a big absence from the podcast, unfortunately, until, just before Christmas. But we're going to be coming out with lots of different creative content, not just a reaction. So go, sound off in the comment section, and go and follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter. As always, you're the best. Thanks for listening. Cheers.